everyone. Here in Duluth, city leaders are considering changes to this current snow emergency ordinance. The proposed revisions are considering a slight change. This comes after Mayor Roger Reinert asked snow plowing staff how to make their jobs easier. Leaders believe that residents working with the city is the key to the success of these new possible changes. And they're calling the city council meeting the first step in planning and communicating their hopes with the public before snow hits the ground.
The success of this ordinance really hinges on our partnership with residents in ensuring its success. We're asking them to be partners in this process with us, to move their vehicles when they're asked to. We're asking them to mirror what they do on Sundays.
Currently, if snowfall happens Monday through Saturday, clearing occurs on Priority 2 streets, which are primarily residential streets. Plows wait until Monday then to clear out the remainder of that street. This new proposal would allow the full process to happen faster after snowfall.
We'll be able to then come back the very next day and clean the opposite side of the street. So any residents will see anywhere from a 2 to 5 day increase in that cleanup type snow plowing that they would normally have seen on a Monday morning in the past.
This model would reportedly simplify the process by eliminating people having to drive their cars blocks away through unplowed streets, making it easier for everyone.